What's the laziest you have ever been? Like right now, I can't even think straight. I just want to sleep and do nothing. Sounds more like depression than laziness. Everything okay? The escalator on my collage wasn't working. Instead of climbing the stairs, I just went back home. I was too tired to get up and make myself food, so I just didn't eat for 2 days. Not showering in a week. Not leaving the house for a month and a half. I would call that extremely low spoons, not laziness. Wow. Was there any particular reason for that? A month and a half is a long time, lol. This may be the most 2005 post ever, but I once torrented and burned a CD to take with me in my car because I did not feel like going upstairs to get the copy I already owned. I've bought something again because I was too lazy to look for the one I already had. And then you find the one you had 4 hours later. Yep. And you remember why you put it where you found it. It was a safe place that you wouldn't ever forget. I track my daily steps via an app on my phone. I had one day where I took less than 50 steps. Went to the bathroom once. Went to the door to pick up food I ordered. That's it. I did something similar too when I watched Breaking Bad for the first time. I was in my bed from 9 AM to 11 PM in my bed with my laptop the entire season 1 and part of season 2. I just got up to the desk to eat 2 times, but I was still watching the show, and 2 times to the bathroom. 1 week and I was done with the series. To the point where I don't study for an exam. He asked how lazy you were, not how crazy. If it's not dishwasher safe, I won't cook with it. I won't buy it in the first place. Same with clothes you can't wash in a machine. I decided to watch golf. A whole tournament. My 2-year-old likes golf. I can't stand watching it, but for him I do. I don't see how this makes you lazy. You know how long a golf tournament takes? That might make someone seem boring, or just interested in golf. But watching one doesn't necessarily make you lazy. I mean, I guess I assumed he meant he wasn't interested in golf, but not me, but this guy in the Navy. That was absolutely, stunningly brilliant. And the one about Chuck Norris a bit further down. All lazy is forever subordinate to this lazy. I faked the signature on my report card so didn't have to go to my parents. That's not lazy, that's smart. The lazy thing is I actually had good grades. One time I photoshopped my grade card and gave the printed copy to my dad, and he never knew the difference, still doesn't know. Severe hangover, need caffeine, nothing in house, not going to store, ordered a pizza to get big bottle of cola. Modern problems require modern solutions. This is the sort of outside the box thinking we need in management. You're hired. Severe hangover, need food. Nothing in fridge, except stale bread ends and a jar of brown stuff. Made generously spread sandwich out of what turned out were pure chipotles. Sprayed fire out of both ends. My girlfriend did the same thing a few weeks ago. I was impressed. I cancelled a job interview because I couldn't be asked to go into town. I upgraded my Windows to the Pro Iron on my desktop on the other side of my bedroom, so I could remote desktop to it from bed with my iPad. Used disposable plates and utensils because I was too lazy to wash the dishes. Do that all the time with plates. Eat out of what they come in where possible. I don't reach for paper clips that are 2 inches from my hands. Instead I use the magnet part of my jewel to pick up several at a time. I used to be ridiculously good at turning off the lights in my room by throwing a bowled up sock at the switch. Once made a DiGiorno pizza for myself. Was too lazy to get off the couch to put the leftovers away, so I just ate the rest of the pizza instead. One time, I did not eat for 3 days, relying on only water to get me by while I gamed, pooped, and slept my life away. The reason? I was too lazy to travel 5 minutes to the nearest eatery or grocery for food. Lost a few kilos I bet from that escapade. I once faked my arms hurt so that someone else would brush my hair. Yesterday I was lazy so texted my boss I'm taking home office, and then I spent the entire day in bed, and when I ordered pizza I just rolled on the side of my bed and took it from window. I'm living in 1st floor apartment. Today's got to be pretty up there, homesick and too lazy to play video games. Slept on the couch feeling too lazy to go to bed. 22 and just won my first job interview. I smoked about 7 joints consecutively. I didn't move for about 18 hours well into the next day. I will starve myself BC getting out of bed is too much effort. Sleeping with my clothes on because taking them off is too tiring. I started drinking coffee black, couldn't be bothered to keep fresh milk in the house. I texted my roommate who was in the next time to come turn my light off so I could sleep BC I couldn't be bothered to get up. I was rightfully pillowed in the face when they came in, but my light was turned off so when I was on pants and a white undershirt. It was autumn and a little chill outside, so I simply put a sweatshirt and some shoes and went to school. I ordered a Domino's because I couldn't be bothered to cook. 20 minutes later I cooked pasta for my work lunch for the next day. I currently rely entirely on braiding my hair regularly in order to get around having to brush it every day. This is embarrassing, but I was laying down on my couch after a really long day and the remote was far from where I was sitting, so I downloaded a universal remote app on my phone, just turned the volume down. Threw out Tupperware that had old food in it instead of just tossing the food and washing the Tupperware. I stared into a wall for 8 hours straight because I was too lazy to eat. Getting thirsty, bottle of water right beside me, too lazy to unscrew the cap. One time when I had the flu, I was around 8, I woke up in the middle of the night, puked on my duvet, and went right back to sleep. Parents wasn't pleased. That time I went on Reddit and saw this post and couldn't be asked to think of something. Not showering, not enough energy to even brush my hair, too lazy to clean. Spend hours on Reddit to avoid work. Just the usual. When you try to use telekinesis to get the TV remote, even though you know you can't. Buying socks to avoid laundry. I've eaten cold peas out of can for dinner when I had food to cook. One time I sat inside my mother for about 9 months and barely moved at all. Not me but my son and my husband. They once waited for me to get home from work so I could find the TV remote. And my son once texted me from upstairs cause he was thirsty lol. I was once known for my famous 3-nap day in college on a weekend. One after each meal. Out of this last year. Too much to even pick one extreme moment. To the point where I started studying. I remember refusing to get my own food and water, or anything I wasn't sick. Napping 3 times in one day on the same couch. I used my machete to reach for the TV and push the power button once. Nearly dropped it on my laptop, but it was okay. I downloaded an entire season of GOTY when I have the box set somewhere in my room. When I decided to become a programmer. Thinking about things is too much work. My brother was too lazy to turn off the light, which was about 5 feet away. He threw a shoe under empty soda bottle to turn it off. Too lazy to eat food, so I just ignored the hunger. Quit playing a card game, because it was my deal, and I didn't wanna. I was lying down on my bed, and wanted to play on my laptop, so I grabbed my keyboard, that was wirelessly connected to my laptop, and my mouse. To play, which were in arm's reach, but my laptop was too far for me to open, so I used the wireless keyboard to pry open the laptop, just top play games while still lying down on my bed. My favorite story is the one about the Navy commander who, rather than shang seats in the mess, to get the sun out of his eye, picked up the phone and ordered a course correction of 2.5 degrees, which moved the light out of his face point while he smiled devilishly. 2 things, and you can ask my family. 1. I'm lazy. 2. I'm honest about being lazy. I'm currently sick. My doctor said I need to rest, so I've literally been on Reddit for the past 48 hours or so. I'm starting to go stir crazy because I can't do anything. I get way too excited when someone replies to a comment I've made. I'm so bored. I got into Digimon as a teenager because I lost my remote control and had fallen asleep watching a channel that was showing a marathon, so I just watched it. In my defense, I also had a flu at the time, but I feel like I could have gotten someone to help me, at least. To really highlight how lazy this was, I had a cord TV at the time with buttons on the front I could change the channel with, and because of how small my room was, I literally just had to sit up in order to reach them. Or possibly find the remote, but moving just wasn't happening. Laid in bed and played with my Donja for 2 days straight. I lived in a 3-bedroom appt with 2 friends. I had a collection of urine-filled Gatorade bottles under my bed, even though the bathroom was 5 feet from my room. I was lying down on the couch on my back, but my head was propped up by the armrest, putting my chin on my chest. After a while, I noticed I wasn't breathing. Rather than making any effort to move or breathe, I waited for my involuntary reflexes to gasp for air. I occasionally cut with my fork instead of my knife during dinner. This is because most of the time I only have my fork in my hand and I'm too lazy to grab my knife, so I just cut with my fork. Calling mom up to bring me food to eat in bed. Haven't brushed my teeth for half a year because I'm too lazy. Walked to the bus stop under the rain because I was too lazy to get my umbrella out of my bag. Tried to use the force on the TV remote. I didn't get any results as I'm still trying now. That last part was a joke. Was too lazy to get off my bed to eat, so I just starved for the day. I have come to hate my uni work, so I literally haven't done any in about a month. One time I called the bridge and asked them to turn an entire battleship instead of sliding over a couple of inches. I was at the kitchen table with my mom and dad. I asked my dad if he could make me a sandwich. He gets out the store-bought ham and cheese sandwiches, opens it up, and asks what I'd like on it. I told him, nothing, I just wanted plain. So he put the sandwich on the plate and handed it to me. When I was kid I would stuff cheese wrappers in the couch because I didn't want to walk to the trash can. Dehydrated myself one weekend when I was a preteen because I got way too into a game. Not my most feminine moments. Sometimes I convince my husband that I want a hug, but then follow it up with a request to get something for me from the fridge that's literally only 10 steps away from my computer. I don't know how or why he puts up with me. I used my Google Home to watch One Punch Man on Netflix because I couldn't be bothered reaching up to get the remote, so I could scroll for something. One Punch Man was just the first decent thing I could think of. Just to explain, my TV was off and I wanted to watch something, so I said okay Google play One Punch Man. TLDR said a thing. Netflix played.